Hi, my name's Fred Robbins, and we're here at Lake Trafford in Immokalee, Florida today, the headwaters of the Corkscrew Swamp. And we want to talk a little bit about invasive species, which the Everglades is a huge area of land, of swampland, and well, really all of South Florida. We have many species that have came from all over the world for the last several hundred years, since the Spaniards first started coming here 400 or 500 years ago. Starting with feral hogs was one of the first, and all the species of fruit trees they brought from the Mediterranean. But we've all kinds of flowers. Here, particularly in the lake we're dealing with here, we have a lot of fish that from all over the world, from the Amazon. We've got the Mayan cichlids and tilapia, and we've got the Plecostomus, which is an armored catfish, is a very prevalent species, and Oscars are all over Florida. But a lot of plant species, a lot of them invasive vines, which take over and choke out the other vegetation. As far as the aquatic vegetation, what's really been a problem here and with most all the waterways in Florida is hydrilla, which is moving farther and farther north all the time, even up in the central United States. But we went through a restoration project here at Lake Trafford about 10 or 12 years ago. It started, and the state's done a very good job of eradicating the hydrilla here. We haven't eradicated it, but they've controlled it immensely with some herbicide work, and then with the fish, the Nile carp and stuff that eat it. But it's a major problem. The Brazilian peppers, Australian pines. There's just so many different plants that have taken over here in Florida. And after years and years of non-control, most of the invasive species were brought here for a reason and started. So after decades and decades of really cultivating them, now to try to eradicate them is a great problem. A classic example is the water hyacinth was brought around the turn of the 20th century from the Amazon. It was actually a biologist brought it back because his wife thought the bloom was so pretty, and they released it in the mouth of the St. Johns River around where they live there, and it has just been one of the major problems for the last 100+ years. But there's all kinds. That's why there's more and more regulation now through all countries, and through customs, to try not to move species back and forth between. We have many of our species that have gone to other countries that are a major problem there. So there's no way to really eradicate them now, but we just try to control them to preserve our native species and environment.